Hello, beautiful people, and welcome to another note session with measurement conversion. So measurement conversion is exactly what it sounds like. We're going to take different measurements and we're going to convert them to different measurements. So it says when a problem asks to turn one measurement, like feet, into another measurement, like yards, we are going to set up a WKU. So the good news is this isn't a whole lot of new information. And it says to help us set up the WKU for measurement conversion problems, we are going to need information from our star chart. So your star chart is your reference materials they give you for star, okay? And so we're going to look at that here in just a second, and we will use our star chart to solve these WKUs concerning measurement, okay? So this is what your WKU will look like. Remember, our W stands for words. So that's still our W, but it's words. And then remember, our star chart is our reference materials. So we're going to get that from our star chart. That'll be a complete fraction. And then our question is going to be our number that is by itself. Remember, the number that is by itself is going to be our question. Okay? So let's open these notes up and solve for example number 1. So this is a piece of our star chart. So this is what I'm going to look at for this problem, okay? On a normal problem, you'll have to go find it on your star chart. So it says example number 1, the table is 90 inches long. How many feet is the table? Okay, so they gave me one number, so that's my number by itself. And I need to get the rest of my information here from my star chart or my reference materials, okay? So I find inches and feet, and I need them to be side by side, okay? Because I need one from the left side and one from the right side, okay? Just so you know, foot and feet are the exact same thing. So even though this says foot, that's the same thing as feet. So I'm going to use one number from the left side and one number from the right side. Okay? They are side by side, and I'm going to create a fraction with those. So I'm going to draw my fraction, my WKU here. I'm going to always start with my words. So what words? Well, I had inches. And I had feet. Okay, those are the words. Remember, this middle fraction is going to come from my star chart. So I look at my star chart, and again, I had one number from the left side and one number from the right side. So one what? 1 foot, or remember, that's the same as feet. So I come over here, find feet, and that's going to be 1. And then for inches, I had 12 inches. Okay. And then the last number is going to be the number that is by itself. So that is going to be my question. So what was my question? My number was 90 inches. So inches is on top. So I'm going to put 90 on top. And this is X. Okay? So from there, I'm going to solve just like we have always been solving. We're going to circle corner to corner, leaving our X outside. 90 times 1 is 90. And then we are going to divide by 12. Okay? So I did this and I got 90, and then I'm going to divide by 12. Do I have any zeros I can cross off? No. But what I can do is I can label my cowboy so that I make sure he ends up in the house over here. So 90 is inside, boots and hat, set the table, set 12 outside. So can 12 people sit in 9 chairs? No, they cannot. But 12 people can sit in 90 chairs, and that is going to be 7 times. 7 times 12 is 84. And I have 6 left over. So I'm going to need to eat a donut. Bring it down. Can 12 people sit in 60 chairs? Yes. 5 times, exactly 60, and I end up with 0. So How many feet is 90 inches? Well, that would be 7.5 feet. And that is my solution. So again, start with your words. The middle information comes from your star chart. You need one piece from the left and one piece from the right. And then your third number is your number by itself, which was in the question, 90. Let's try another example. Example number 2 says if an ice chest will hold 32 cups, how many gallons will it hold? So again, it gives me one number, 32 cups, and they want me to change those cups into gallons. So I know they gave me one number and I'm changing measurements, so I am gonna need my handy dandy star chart. And so I come down here and I need to find cups and gallons. So here's cups, but next to it is fluid ounces, so we can't use that. This one's pints, so that doesn't work. And then here's quarts, and that's pints. The only gallons are here, okay? That's the only gallons I see. So that's gonna be my number on the left, which means that cups is gonna have to be my number on the right. So that's quarts, pints, there's cups, okay? Now the problem is, up here they were side by side, right? One on the left, one on the right, side by side. But down here, we have one on the left and one on the right, but they're not side by side. So we actually have to use everything to get up there, okay? So what we're gonna do is we are going to multiply up the star chart. So we're gonna take all the numbers we boxed and we're gonna multiply up. So we're gonna do 2 times 2 times 4. So we're taking all three of these numbers and we're multiplying. So 2 times 2 is 4, and then 4 times 4 is 16. So on this side, we're gonna use 16 cups. Okay, so I took my cups and I converted all the way up to gallons. So 2 times 2 is 4, 4 times 4 was 16. So I have one on the left and one on the right. And now I'm ready to set up my WKU. So I'm gonna draw it out. I always start with my words. So my words were cups and gallons. Okay, and then the middle information comes from my star chart. That was a really ugly star, sorry. So cups, how many? 16. Gallons, how many? 1. Okay, and then the question is that number that's by itself, which is 32. 32 what? 32 cups. So I find cups, and I write my 32, and I put my X for my missing number. Again, from there, we're just gonna cross multiply. So 32 times 1 is 32. And we are going to divide by 16. So we had 32 divided by 16. I don't have any zeros to cross off, but I can, again, label my cowboy. I set it up. 16 goes outside, 32 goes inside, boots, hat, set the table. Can 16 people sit in 3 chairs? No, but they can sit in 32 chairs twice. 2 times 16 is 32, and I end up with 0. So 32 cups equals 2 gallons. And that's how we solved that one. So these were side by side. On this one, we had to work our way up. Okay, let's try another. Example number 3. It says if 1 ounce is 28.3 grams, how many grams are there in 3.5 ounces? So for this problem, I actually don't need my star chart because they gave me all three of my numbers. There's 1 and 2, and then my last number is here, 3.5 ounces. So there's my three numbers. I know when I have three numbers, I'm gonna set up my WKU. Again, this time we're changing measurements, but they gave us the measurements, so we don't need our star chart like we did over here. Our words are gonna be ounces, right? 1 ounce. And our second one is gonna be grams. What we know are the two numbers together. So 1 ounce is 28.3 grams. And then the unknown, remember, is the number by itself. So 3.5 ounces. So ounces was on top. So 3.5 goes on top. And I'm ready to solve. So I'm going to cross multiply. And then I'm going to divide by 1. So I have 28.3 times 3.5 divided by 1. So 28.3 and 3.5. I need to multiply. I'm going to use my turtle head method to stay organized. So 5 times 3 is 15. 5 carry the 1. 5 times 8 is 40, plus 1 is 41. 5 times 2 is 10, plus 4 is 14. We're going to give our turtle a little collar since he was so excited to help us. And he's going to lay a happy little turtle egg. And then we're going to take out the trash, make mama happy. And then we're going to multiply our 3. 3 times 3 is 9. 3 times 8 is 24. And 3 times 2 is 6, plus 2 is 8. We add those together. 5 plus 0 is 5. 1 plus 9 is 10. 4 plus 4 is 8, plus 1 is 9. 1 plus 8 is 9. We go back to our original problem and look for decimal points, which I have 2 with 2 numbers behind them. So I scoot over 1 and 2. And then when we divide by 1, that's still just going to be that same number. So we have 99.05 divided by 1 is just 99.05, and the answer was grams. Grams. Okay, and that is how we convert ounces to grams. Example number 4, we have Harry's height is 3 meters 20 centimeters. How tall is Harry in millimeters? Okay, so I'm going to use my star chart again. Remember, they are giving us a number and asking us to change it to something else. So I am going to make a WKU, and I'm going to start with my words again. So in this case, we want everything to become millimeters. So I have meters, and I want it to become millimeters, right? And then I also have another fraction where I'm going to create centimeters. And again, I want it to become millimeters. Okay. So I had to create 2 WKUs because I have 2 different words that I'm changing into millimeters. So I'm changing meters to millimeters, and I'm changing centimeters to millimeters, okay? Remember, this whole middle section comes from your star chart, and then the last section is our question. So let's find meters and millimeters. So we have meters here and millimeters here. Well, remember, they need to be side by side. So I need to move up right here. So I need to multiply up. So I have 10 times 100, which is going to be 1,000. So this will be 1,000 millimeters and 1 meter. Again, the 1 was here, the millimeters was down here, so we had to multiply up, which we got 1,000. Then the question was 3 meters. So 3 meters is how many? And then we're going to do centimeters. We're going to set that one up. So this time, millimeters is here and centimeters is here, so they're side by side. So I have 1 centimeter equals 10 millimeters. And I'm trying to convert that into centimeters. So I have to take 20 centimeters and I'm looking for my millimeters. Whatever I get in the end, I'm going to add my two x's together so that I can have a total millimeters. So I'm going to cross multiply. 1,000 times 3 divided by 1. So that's going to be 3,000 divided by 1 is still just 3,000 millimeters. And then over here, we're going to do 20 times 10 divided by 1 is going to be 200. And 200 divided by 1 is still just 200. So how would I find total millimeters? I'm going to add my 3,000 and my 2,000, and I get a total of 3,200 millimeters. Again, on this one, we had to have 2 because we had meters and centimeters, and we were turning them into millimeters. So 1 to turn meters, 1 to turn centimeters. Again, we add them together in the end to make our total millimeters. And that is measurement conversion, guys.